Jamie Kennedy. Subscribe to my man, Destination Station right now if you want the best content.
Will Michael Myers get killed in Halloween Ends? What's up? Welcome to Destination Station. As always, I'm Destin. Thank you for clicking on this video. Like this video. Subscribe to Destination Station for all things horror and all things Scream, and especially all things Halloween. Today, I've been doing a lot of Scream news lately, and so I figured let's trickle in some Halloween news here because we all know that Halloween is going into some reshoots. They're headed back to Georgia, and they're going to do some reshoots, but it's still on track to be out this October, so don't panic. But I want to talk about, is Michael Myers going to actually bite the dust in this film? Because a lot of speculation with the title Halloween Ends. Is it really going to end? Can you really kill the boogeyman? Because that's been the whole thing, is that you cannot kill the boogeyman. So is this the end of Jamie Lee Curtis, of Laurie Strode, or is it the end of Michael Myers, or is it the end of both of them? Are we going to continue this story, like if Allison is the one that takes on the legacy of the Strode family, and if she's our main final girl, or are they going to take some really big risks in this one and surprises? Maybe Allison actually gets killed in this one. But from as far as we know, is that it looks like it's 4 years after the events of the last one. I think, I'm not going to say the word, but the situation in the world has happened. So maybe that's like keeping it to where trick-or-treaters aren't out, and there's a mandate and all that kind of stuff. So maybe Michael Myers hasn't really, he doesn't really keep up with dates, I don't think. I think that he actually, when he sees people out trick-or-treating, see people out, in masks and stuff, he feels like that's his day to come out and do his thing. so maybe it's something like that. Maybe that's the reason why he's hiding out for 4 years, maybe just because it's just been kind of things just don't feel like he can come out yet. So I mean, who knows which direction they're going to take with this, and I hope the less we know, the better, in my opinion, because with Halloween Kills being delayed for that 1 year, we got so much marketing. I felt like I knew everything about that film except for Evil Dies Tonight. So I just want to see one trailer. You already got our money. You got our asses in the seat. So we don't need a big marketing thing on this, because it's coming out in the month of October. So yeah, we're gonna show up. So whether we like it or not, that's the question. And are they gonna kill the boogeyman? And I always thought that, they would go down in him and Michael and Laurie would go down in a blaze of glory, fighting to the death, and they're both stabbing each other to the death, and then they maybe fall off a bridge. I know a lot of people are talking about these shootings on this bridge, and then a lot of people talk about the radio tower. How is that going to play into it? Maybe the fight is up there and they both fall from it, after stabbing each other several times up there. Or maybe just Michael dies. Maybe Laurie does survive and she actually gets to live the last few years of her life, as a older woman. I'm not going to say she's like elderly, but I'm just saying that maybe she gets to live the rest of her days in peace, because she knows that the boogeyman is actually dead. Or they could take a really ballsy move and they could actually kill Laurie Strode. I think that's probably what we're going to see happen here, and she's going to sacrifice herself for Allison to survive and leave. Or maybe Hawkins is the one that takes Michael Myers out, because they build that flashback scene. They keep building up Hawkins was the one that arrested him back in 1978. So maybe he's the one that sacrifices himself to save Laurie and Allison. We don't know which way they're going to go with this, but if you want my opinion, you cannot kill the boogeyman. I don't care. You can do everything that happened in Halloween Kills. The mob taking him down, shooting, beating him, hitting him with an iron, stabbing him with a pitchfork. All these things he's still going to keep ticking. And I have made theory videos on that mask of that's the reason why he keeps ticking and he keeps coming back alive. That's why it's not the reason why he kills, but it does make him invincible. So I think the only way to kill Michael Myers is to remove that mask and finish him once and for all. And I think we're going to get that in this film. And by the end of the movie, how I would like it to wrap up, just because you still want to keep that mystery, mystique to it, is, you know, let's say that let's just say that Laurie and Michael are going at it, and they're stabbing each other, and they're really messing each other up, and then they fall from something, either the bridge or the radio tower or something, or they're inside a house and it's burning down and they're fighting, and his mask comes off. The audience doesn't see his face. We only see the side, like, you know, like they've been shooting it, and once they kill each other and they fall from something, I want to see just this wide shot of just like narrowing it down, like to both of them laying next to each other. You know how like in Halloween 2018, well, let's go back to Halloween 1978. In Halloween 78, Michael falls off the balcony and he's laying there, and then the next time you see him, next time you look down, he's missing. Well, that happened with Laurie Strode in Halloween 2018. She fell off, and then when Michael Myers looked back, she was missing. Well, this time when they both fall, and then somebody looks away, and then they look back down, they're still laying there. But Michael's maskless. You can't see his face because the camera's so far back, or the way he's positioned on the ground. And we just get this wide shot that's kind of like slowly getting closer to him. So us as the audience are taking this in, that like they have taken each other out. Like this is it. And then the next scene, either they have to destroy that mask or they forget to destroy that mask. Like they either throw the mask in some flames or something, and we watch it just melt and burn up, or they don't. That's the way Michael Myers survives, is that they don't destroy the mask. And maybe the mask is laying there, and maybe the very last shot of the movie, the camera pans down, and the camera, and maybe we hear a voiceover from Loomis or Laurie Strode or somebody, and we see this camera just pan down to the mask, and then we see someone just scoop it up. We don't know who. We just know someone just grabs it up and then walks off, and then boom, it goes black. You know, or you know, that could happen. Or like during the credit scenes, we could have a little bit of that John Carpenter theme, but let's have like no music at all, and we just hear Michael Myers breathing, just you know, kind of like he was on the telephone and everything. So yeah, those are my ideas of how I want it to wrap up and how I think it should end. I don't know. We don't know how it's going to end. It might surprise us at all. There might be a part 2 of this. They might, you know, surprise us, and at the very end of Halloween Ends, it says to be continued. We don't know what they're going to do, but we do know that this movie is going to make bank. They are going to make a good profit about it. So whether this be the end, Halloween Ends, the Michael Myers franchise, no, Michael Myers will be back in some way, shape, or form later on down the road. They will start a new trilogy, either with Allison. They will reboot it, maybe with Jamie from Halloween 4. I've always said my idea is that I would like them to retcon the 4, 5, and 6 trilogy. Like I want them to not acknowledge 5 and 6 and just start from the 4th film. And let's do the same thing that we did with Halloween 1978, because I feel like that's where that started going downhill, because 4 was pretty good. That's one of my favorite Halloween films that doesn't have Jamie Lee Curtis in it. But in 5, you kill off Rachel, and then you have those goofy cops, and then the mask looks horrendous, and then it just didn't feel right. They just made some wrong choices. And then Halloween 6 had its moments, but still it didn't feel right. It's not how I wanted it to wrap up. So let's do that. Let's bring back Danielle Harris. I'm pretty sure she'd be willing to come back and be game for this, because Danielle Harris and Jamie Lee Curtis has never met each other. They've never shared any screen time together, nothing. Like they've never talked anything. So, you know, it's like I don't know if it's a snub thing or you know, like Jamie Lee Curtis just thinks she's too big for her, or what it might be. Maybe she doesn't want to acknowledge it, or maybe it's not even, you know, significant to acknowledge it. But I do think that if you want to wrap up Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode's story, then let's jump back and let's start from Halloween 4 and let's move forward from there. And we don't have to call it Halloween 5 or Halloween 6. We can just call it, you know, Halloween, like we did with this one. We dropped the numbers. We just, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. We call this one Halloween Reawakens. I don't, the Awakening. I don't know, you know. But a way that they could bring it back is that, like, you could still have it almost connected to these movies, because we hear that Jamie Lee Curtis did have failed marriages in her past from Halloween 2018. So who's to say that they, in some way, shape, or form, they could write it in there for some exposition that maybe Jamie Lloyd is maybe she put Jamie Lloyd up for adoption in her younger years just because she was just so tormented and had PTSD from the events of 1978. And we kind of still have it in the same universe, but it's rebooted and we're over here now, you know. Maybe someone gets a hold of Michael Myers' body after Halloween Ends, and someone got a hold of the mask, and maybe Michael Myers really is dead, but maybe whoever this mystery person is, the man in black or whatever you want to call it, puts the mask on Michael while he's dead, and at first he doesn't move, but then he just like, he comes right back to life. So now he's like Frankenstein Michael Myers. I don't know how you would want to do that, because then he would be technically supernatural at that point. But if you want to go in a different direction and you want to end this trilogy in Halloween Ends, the Laurie Strode story, you could go with that direction and reboot from 4, 5, and 6. You know, maybe someone's bringing, you know, his body to Jamie. You know, I don't want to see Jamie being mute either. Let's don't do that like they did in 5. I didn't like that aspect. But anyways, yeah, what do you think about this? Do you really think Halloween Ends is going to end, or do you think that they're just going to wait a couple years and they're gonna bring it back? Because all these reshoots that are going on right now, they could be reconsidering what they've seen and being like, oh, let's reshoot the ending. That's what they did with Halloween 2018. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis was supposed to die. They shot it a couple ways and then they decided to let her live. So yeah, I think that with that happening, I think this is Laurie Strode's arc and redemption, and she will be the one to die. I think at the end of the movie, I think they will both die, but I still think Michael Myers will survive in some way, shape, or form. There's still going to be somebody that either gets a hold of that mask, or someone snatches it up, or we still hear Michael breathing at the end credits. Something small. We're not going to see Michael lift up and walk off into the sunset. I mean, I just don't think that's going to happen, you know, or into the woods or wherever, you know, or float down a river off the bridge or something. I don't think they're going to do that. They could surprise us all, and they could do that. But I think you want to keep that mystery aspect, so we see how well this movie performs in the box office, and then we will go from there. And then we'll be like, okay, well, this is still a moneymaker. It always is going to be a moneymaker. So let's do something else with it. So that's the direction I would like to see go in. Or do you want to just see it go in a totally different direction with new characters and everything? Because every time they've done something like that, it seems like it's kind of failed and wasn't well received with the audience. But you have to, if you want to keep it going, you have to do something different. You can't just keep doing the Laurie Strode 1978 thing. So we have to end that and move forward, okay? Leave the past in the past. All right, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you for clicking on this video. Subscribe to Destination Station, like this video, and follow me on all my socials. And I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.
Bagels and go to Destination Station. This buddy is the bomb.
Yep.
Love him.
Yep.
Fucking A.
Yep.
I had to say that for a reason.
Freddie, take that, motherfucker.
All right. Okay. Fuck you. Yeah.